Answer. Anthony Joshua is Olympic champion. First.
Yeah.
Jack Paul, it's sportsman, YouTuber, showman. Rolls Royce, Fiat.
Doing reports he's out there training with Usyk and the team, trying to pick up something, trying to rediscover something.
That's very strange, Paul.
It is, but it's not on air.
What it's like to be in there with a big, strong, world-class heavyweight before the day, because I don't want him to get hit with the first jab and it's a whole new sensation. So, and you never know. You know, I think there's some game plans that he could cause a bit of trouble.
Oleksandr Usyk drops a shocking prediction for the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight. He points out that AJ is an Olympic champion, while Jake is primarily a showman and YouTube personality. Usyk likens the matchup to a Rolls Royce facing a Fiat.
Correct. If Anthony Joshua won, Anthony killed this guy. Listen, a lot of questions, blah blah blah. Only one my answer. Anthony Joshua is Olympic champion. First.
Yeah.
Jack Paul, it's sportsman, YouTuber, showman. Rolls Royce, Fiat. Listen, it's true. Yeah, I'm not. Типа я не обзываюсь.
I have nothing better in mind.
Yeah. It's just true. It's business, more money. Only this.
So we need to pray for Jake Paul.
Yes. I will pray Jake Paul because I want fight with Jake Paul.
Highlighting the vast difference in experience and skill. Despite the mismatch, he says he will pray for Jake Paul before this high-profile bout. Oleksandr Usyk, the current heavyweight champion and longtime friend of Joshua, shared his perspective with notable confidence in his compatriot. Usyk emphasized the respect and brotherhood he feels towards Joshua, highlighting the champion's exceptional skill set. Joshua's preparation for the fight has been thorough and disciplined, guided by his camp of highly experienced coaches. These trainers have worked with him to refine both offensive and defensive techniques, ensuring that he can respond to unexpected moves and maintain dominance throughout the match. Training sessions reportedly include a blend of traditional boxing drills, strength conditioning, and strategic sparring, all tailored to counter Jake Paul's unique style. The structured environment of Joshua's camp, reinforced by the input of veterans, underscores the fighter's commitment to maintaining peak performance. Analysts have suggested that even if Joshua does not intend to use full power, his skill alone creates a formidable challenge for any opponent stepping into the ring.
Reports he's out there training with Usyk and the team, trying to pick up something, trying to rediscover something.
That's very strange, Paul.
It is, but it's not on air. I've heard there's a lot of fighters doing that. You see fighters, obviously, it's the old Rocky movies years ago, but you see a fighter losing to someone, all of a sudden they go in the camp and they start saying and do a little bits together and become friends or whatever else. I think it'll do Joshua no harm to have him, but as you say, he's a little bit long in the tooth and he's a bit on the back nine rather than the front nine, where that experience would really come into play. But I'm just looking at his record here. He obviously, after the Usyk fight, he'd come back and he had 3 fights and then the Ngannou demolition
Well, yeah,
job.
Jermaine Franklin, he had Robert Helene, he had Otto Wallin, and he smashed Ngannou, which everyone went hallelujah for, right?
Yeah, but he's obviously not in like the box rec rankings to see where he is. But the Dubois fight is a fight where what you've just said then, Spencer, like match him right. I felt he was matched right with Dubois. That's just my opinion. Obviously, I was wrong on that and I was proved wrong, but I felt like Joshua would have and should have came through that, but he obviously didn't. So therefore, it's back to the drawing board, and where do you go from there? What do you do from there? Does he keep the same team around him? Does he go and find someone new and try and adapt and add to his repertoire already? And this move at Usyk, I don't know what it'll be, but if he's fighting before Christmas, then he needs to get in shape quick, because there's only 8 weeks to go, let's say.
Well, my understanding, he's in camp, he's in shape, and just looking to getting out and get back to winning ways is my understanding. That's why they're talking about 8-rounders.
Yeah.
He wants to sort of go under the radar a little bit, and it's difficult for someone like Anthony Joshua because he's such
Very
a
much so.
commercial commodity.
He's always been in shape all the time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He always will be in shape. He's never, ever not been.
But it's not about his physical shape, is it? No one's ever questioned his physical state. Zach, when I was talking about Anthony Joshua, and I know that the president of his fan club is here in Spencer, but I talked about the PTSD issue post various fights, whether it be the Oleksandr Usyk or the Daniel Dubois situation. But prior to Daniel Dubois, I always maintained that I felt that despite the performance against Jermaine Franklin, despite the performance against Robert Helenius, which had been blasted out by Deontay Wilder,
Chael Sonnen, a retired mixed martial artist and analyst, offered his view on the broader implications of the matchup. He noted that Jake Paul's critics will soon witness firsthand the level of competition he faces when entering the ring against a professional of Joshua's caliber. Sonnen emphasized that this fight is more than just a spectacle. It will serve as a barometer for public perception regarding the legitimacy of crossover boxing matches. The bout not only tests Paul's abilities but also influences how audiences perceive boxing's evolving landscape. For Sonnen, this is a pivotal moment that could reshape the understanding of what constitutes a credible challenge in the sport.
The courage that it takes for Jake Paul to do this, as well as for Joshua. You know, this isn't Joshua's first time doing a spoof fight. He fought Francis. That was a spoof fight. Francis had never won boxing before, but we understood he has fought before. It was one of those things where when you got through it, like coming into the front side, I'm sure Anthony Joshua trained plenty hard for it. But coming out the back, he probably realized I didn't need to train for that at all. That was fun. That was a good time. I got to hear him call my names. I got to go out there. I got to be light on my feet. I got to land these combinations and then cut an interview and pump my hands over my shoulders like I accomplished something. What dreams are made of. And so Joshua did one of those fights. It was with Francis, and this is a completely different kind of that type of fight, but it's still that fight nonetheless. Jake Paul has abilities to win this fight. A lot of them involve moral victories. A lot of them involve getting out of the first round. And a lot of them would involve getting out of the first 2 rounds and haven't been knocked down yet. One would be getting out of the 3rd round, you've only been on the canvas once and you got up to your feet, you shook it off and you're ready to keep going. Like, these things are all victories, but the fight that it's going to happen, I think it's a big deal for Jake Paul. I think it's a big deal for everybody involved. I think it's a big deal that Francis looks at that fight and realizes, oh, these things make sense. These things that make dollars, they make sense. That's his business. This was his opportunity that he missed out on. And now Joshua's gonna have a lot of fun. And overall, I see the fight being one-sided. And people keep saying, well, slow down, wait till you hear what all of the rules under
broadcast personalities Adam Catterall and Nick Pete also weighed in following the fight's official confirmation. They observed that while the event has generated significant attention and excitement, the fighters must approach it with the mindset of a professional contest. Joshua himself reportedly mentioned that he would moderate the force behind his punches, signaling a controlled approach rather than a full-power offensive strategy. Catterall and Pete highlighted the dual responsibility this brings. While Paul gains visibility and experience, Joshua must maintain professionalism, ensuring that the fight is safe and credible. The interplay between entertainment and sport is delicate, requiring both participants to navigate public expectations while remaining mindful of their responsibilities in the ring.
We're being told from those people that this is a fully professional boxing contest. I'd like to see the small print, to be totally honest with you, but that's what we're being told. We're being told that it's going to be 8 3-minute rounds. We're being told that they're going to use 10-ounce gloves, which are far too fucking small for Anthony Joshua to hit you in the face with when you're there. Listen, Jake's a good novice. Jake's a good novice.
Oh, yeah.
And if he wanted to have a legitimate career in boxing, then he would climb the domestic rankings in America, and he might even make top 50. He might make top 50 if you pick him right, great. But if you put him in with meritocracy and put him in rankings and actually make him fight the number 49 guy in America or try and climb up, he's going to get found out because he's a nutter novice. Now I speak from experience here. I did an exhibition bout with Shane Neary, a former world champion, and I was fucking 2 or 3 stone bigger than him. I was 5 inches bigger than him, very similar to AJ and Jake Paul. And I was a novice. I'd boxed, sparred and moved around my whole life, but I'd never been in a competitive fight. And we did it for charity. And we did 3 rounds. And at the end of it, I realised, and I knew it going in, that Shane Neary controlled pretty much every second of those 3 minutes. Pretty much every second he controlled. He put the pressure on me in 1 round. He hit me with the body shot in the 2nd round, and he caught everything I threw at him in the 3rd round when he said, "Go on, try and knock me out." Caught everything. And, you know, in a similar vein, Anthony Joshua controls every second.
Brendan Shaw, former UFC fighter and current commentator, focused on Joshua's approach to the matchup. Shaw and other analysts suggested that Joshua may not regard this fight as competitively vital in the traditional sense. This perspective stems from the recognition that Joshua is already an elite athlete with championship experience.
While Paul's background is rooted in entertainment
and social media exposure, observers argued that Joshua's mindset does not diminish the importance of the fight but rather reflects his understanding of proportional risk. By not fully prioritizing aggression, Joshua can maintain control, protect his long-term career, and still provide a compelling spectacle for fans.
Off that, Anthony Joshua's not taking this real, and he's not putting his best performance forward. That's the issue. The issue is Anthony's like, how much you gonna pay me? It's on Netflix? Hold up, I can fight this guy who, you know, when I was an amateur teenager, I fought better guys. And I have how much weight on him? I can fight him for how much money? Dude, I'll beat him in my sleep. Correct, and you should. And it's such a disservice to the sport of boxing and to the actual fans of boxing if Anthony Joshua doesn't go out there and absolutely dominate Jake Paul. If it goes to decision, if it goes past 6 rounds, Houston, we have a problem. Boxing, we have a problem. And now, people are going, where's this energy with Gervonta Davis? Different. You're talking about a very, very small guy. I've worked with Gervonta. He's fucking tiny. And size can overshadow a lot of that stuff. I still think Gervonta should still win that fight. And the body shots, if he's taking it seriously, that should have got the job done. But obviously he has his legal issues and that went out the window. But when you're talking about an actual world-class heavyweight who went toe-to-toe with Klitschko, with fucking all these bad boys, if Anthony Joshua takes this serious, as he should, this shouldn't even be a competition, and it's brilliant. Because for Jake, okay, cool, man. Got knocked out by one of the best to ever do it, or got finished by one of the best to do it. At least I got in there. And I'm not even a heavyweight. I'm a cruiserweight at best. Either I'm too light in the ass for that. I should be fighting down. He's shooting for the moon. He's going to land on the stars. And just to be absolutely clear, Jake...
Professional boxer Lawrence Okoli offered a nuanced perspective, highlighting the tactical aspects of the fight. Oki suggested that Jake Paul could benefit from sparring against experienced professionals to prepare for the physicality and technical demands of facing Joshua. However, he also acknowledged that Joshua is not typically the type of fighter to seek an early knockout immediately. This insight stresses that Joshua's strength lies not just in raw power, but also in strategy and pacing, allowing him to dictate the fight while remaining composed. Oki's commentary highlights the complexity behind what might appear to casual viewers as a straightforward matchup, reminding audiences that boxing is as much about tactical execution as it is about athletic ability.
He's brilliant for the sport. And what he's done for especially the women's game and what he is, I think he's fantastic. And he's showing other boxers coming through, look what I've got from this. So you tell me now, in terms of a game plan, what you think.
There's 3 I see. One of which is, bear in mind, AJ is not I'm going to come out and get this over in 1 round kind of guy. He does do it, don't get me wrong, but that's based off of other people's work. So when you see AJ versus Ngannou and him were having a fight before AJ started landing the great right hands off of Ngannou going southpaw, I don't think AJ's first instinct is to go in and go double jump, uppercut, left hook to the butt and rip into people. He likes to box. He's a natural boxer. So I think he's going to be just going through stuff. He hasn't been in the ring for over a year. He's going to be, popping jabs.
Legendary ring announcer Michael Buffer offered a unique viewpoint on the influence of Jake and Logan Paul in modern boxing. He highlighted how the brothers have managed to bring fresh energy to the sport, capturing the attention of younger audiences who might not have engaged with boxing otherwise. Their talent for building engaging storylines, creating anticipation, and generating large-scale excitement has significantly expanded the sport's reach. Buffer acknowledged that while some critics remain skeptical about the legitimacy of crossover fights, the Paul brothers' impact on boxing cannot be dismissed. By attracting new viewers and increasing mainstream interest, they have opened doors for broader fan engagement and media coverage. This influx of attention also provides opportunities for established fighters to connect with a wider audience, blending entertainment with athletic competition.
This influx of
Ultimately,
also
Buffer
provides
framed their
opportunities for
contribution as a
established
positive
fighters
force for the
to connect
sport,
as a
emphasizing that
positive force for the
boxing
sport,
benefits from the
emphasizing that
combination of
boxing
high-level
benefits from the
competition and dynamic
combination of
promotion.
high-level
Jake and Logan, first of all, are fantastic athletes. You know what Logan does with the WWE and what Jake does with boxing, he knocks people out and everything. And they both have massive fan bases. And for me, it's great to see people get young people that follow them that didn't have they don't remember Ali or Joe Frazier or whatever. It's not in their wheelhouse. So it's great to see them developing fight fans and a big fight atmosphere. So it's very exciting.
These two stood face to face, and the comment section on the internet was going crazy. They were like, call the ambulance now, basically. Anthony Joshua looks dangerous standing next to him.
Anthony Joshua is, at this time, and has been for years, the biggest puncher in boxing. He's a devastating puncher. So I got to give Jake a lot of credit for wanting to take this fight.
Yeah, it's not. A lot of people saying it's not smart. If he somehow was able to surprise the world, what does this do for him?
The word would be surprised if he shocked the world. But that's exactly why you got to give him credit. He wants to do it. He trains hard, he works hard, and he has a lot of faith in himself. So we'll see what happens.
Technically, though, what's the biggest concern for you? What's the biggest tip you could give Jake, knowing that you've watched Anthony so many times dominate you?
Work on your defense.
Professional boxer Liam Cameron discussed public expectations regarding the fight. He noted that the majority of spectators anticipate Joshua to dominate given his Olympic pedigree and professional experience. Cameron also acknowledged that some viewers may even take a sense of enjoyment from a lopsided contest, expecting one-sided moments that showcase the skill disparity. This perception, however, adds pressure on Paul to demonstrate adaptability, resilience, and showmanship. Cameron's commentary emphasizes that audience psychology plays a significant role in crossover boxing matches, influencing both how the event is marketed and how fighters approach their performance in the ring.
Like Jake Paul, AJ's going to do you a favour because he's going to flatten him. But big props to that Jake Paul for gaining ring win. Listen to this, he's a multi-millionaire. Multi-millionaire. You don't have to box. And he's fighting him. He's either a madman or he knows something we don't know. But people like saying, oh, I won't take this Jake Paul fight. Listen, every boxer on the planet would fight Jake Paul for money. I'd fight Anthony Joshua for money. I'd get flattened, but I'd fight him. So yeah, I think people sometimes have to watch what they say.
Joey Knight, a boxing analyst, provided one of the strongest warnings concerning Jake Paul's motivations and potential outcomes. Knight suggested that Paul's primary incentive is the attention and viral moments the fight generates rather than a conventional professional ambition. This does not mean that Paul lacks preparation or intent, but it frames the fight within the broader context of entertainment-driven boxing. Knight's analysis underlines the contrasting priorities of the two competitors. Joshua's focus on technical mastery and legacy versus Paul's pursuit of exposure and fan engagement. This dynamic further complicates predictions and adds layers to the storytelling aspect of the matchup.
Cash, maybe not as much as the Anthony Joshua fight, but a lot of cash, and can still have a serious chance of going on to earn even more paydays. Whereas the damage that it could do to his body could be irreversible for that opportunity to earn money in a boxing career going forward. So is this the retirement bag? Or do you actually think you can win? Because I read a study recently, and I believe it said something along the lines of men overemphasize or overcalculate their ability to fight by about 500 times. And I'm saying Jake Paul would probably need to be 500 times better to stand a chance against Anthony Joshua. And I can't get how he doesn't already know this. Surely he has sparred with heavyweights. Surely the recent sparring that he had with the likes of Shakur Stevenson and with the likes of Ray Ford, amongst others, Badu Jack, surely that would have taught you that there are levels to boxing. And if these small guys are able to show you things that you had no idea that you were vulnerable to in a boxing ring, what happens when someone who hits 4, 5, 6 times as hard as that does the exact same thing to you and lands it on your chin? The whole reason of why I know where I am in the influencer boxing scene, in the misfit scene, is because of the level that I have sparred at. I've sparred boys that have gone on to box for world titles. I've sparred with English champions, and I've sparred with...
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next.